Hello, I'm Jonathan here at Shed Repair, and today I'm going to show you how to install a set of double fiberglass slab shed doors. Okay, so the doors I'm installing today are a set of 60 by 72 inch fiberglass slab shed doors that can be purchased on our website at shedrepair.net. But the instructions I'll be telling you about are relevant for any slab fiberglass door that is designed for a shed. There's varying sizes out there, but this one is a 60 by 72 inch. So I would expect the install of this set of doors to take roughly an hour or so. If you're a pro, maybe you can do it in 30 minutes, but that doesn't include the prep work of getting the jambs squared and getting the trim ready for the install. Here are the tools you'll need for this project. You'll need a screw gun with a number 2 square drive bit. You'll need a drill with 5/16 drill bit. You'll need an Allen wrench set. You'll need a tape measure, most likely, and you'll need something to cut the packaging apart with. So when purchasing a set of doors from shedrepair.net, it comes with a hardware kit that has all the hardware and fasteners you need for this project. Here's the hardware that you'll need for this project. So in this kit, we have 6 of the 6-inch decorative T-hinges. We have the L-handled outside keyed latch, and we have the inside D-handle. Then we also have 2 spring action barrel bolts that get mounted on the inside of the left door to keep that one in place. Accompanying fasteners for those latches, as well as the hinge screws and the latch screws. This kit also comes with touch-up paint and a paintbrush because the door I'm installing is painted. Okay, so let's unbox this thing. Here we go. There's also a slam trim here, which we'll need to install on the inside of the left door then, because there's usually a little gap in between the 2 doors. That will get closed up by that. So I'm going to get this hardware installed on these doors. The holes are already pre-drilled for these hinges and for the latch, so it makes it very easy to get these all installed. For now, I just need 3 of the hinge screws per hinge. All right, I just have to install the latch yet. And we use the hinge screws for these as well. They work just fine. And then we can put this latch on the inside for now. We'll want to adjust that later once we're installing the door. So now that we have the hardware all installed, let's go mount them to the opening. Prior to installation, you're going to want to prep your jambs and the trim around your door to fit your particular door that you're installing. My door is a 60 by 72 inch fiberglass door, and that means that I'm going to need to make sure the width and the height fits the measurements for the door. My door is 1 3/4 inches thick, so that means that the trim that the doors mount to need to be that thickness so that the door can close against the frame of the building. In fact, the actual size of my doors are each 30.5, so together that would make 61 inches. But if I allow for about a 1/2 inch space in between, that gives me 61.5 inches of total width from the inside of my mounting trim over there to the inside of my mounting trim here. So I want to make sure that all those specs are good and that my opening is square before I start the installation of my door. All right, let's get started. So I'll grab my first hinge screw here. This step is always easier if you have a buddy to help you, but I'll do my best to balance the door on my foot, and I should be able to adjust the height I need there. So I'm looking for about a 1/4 inch of gap up top there between the top trim and the top of my door. So something like that, and I'll put my first hinge screw in. All right, I'll put one in the bottom here just to keep the door from falling off for now. And then I'm going to go right to the other door. The thing I want to see is if once both doors are fastened to the opening, I want to make sure that they're sitting square and that they're closing nicely together. So I'll just put a couple screws in for now and then finish the rest of the hinge screws once everything's adjusted. So the goal is to make the gap on both doors the same the whole way across. So that's going to be about right. Let's see if I can get this first screw in the right place. The thing you're going to want to check now is that make sure that the doors are lining up at the top, that the same amount of gap at the top. And then you also want to see if the gap here and the gap here is the same. So it appears to me that the bottom is a little bit more gap than the top. All I have to do is bring the bottom in a little bit and that will correct the gap there. So I'll just loosen this screw a little bit. So that screw gives me a little bit of play there with the hole. That the hole that is drilled in the hinge is bigger than the screw, so it gives me some play. So I'll do that. And I'll do the same thing on the other side here. Just a little bit. That gaps it just a little bit. All right, that's looking pretty good. Now I can go ahead and install the rest of my hinge screws. Okay, now this astragal slam trim comes along with this kit, and it actually mounts on the back of the left door, which creates a means for the doors to latch. So basically what happens here is that mounts about like that with a 3/4 inch reveal, something like that, and then that allows for the D handle here to latch into the slam trim, and it also just closes up the gap between these two doors. So I already cut this trim to length. This piece of trim came at 72 inches, and I think I had to cut it down to about 70.5. So it's going to vary with each application, but I'm going to go ahead and install this piece of trim. This kit came along with these stainless steel 1-inch wood screws. Not only can I use these to fasten the slam trim, but I'll also be able to use them for the spring action barrel bolts that I can then mount on the inside of the left door. One goes up into the header and one goes down to the floor, and that keeps the left door in place anytime that you don't want it swinging. So I just want to make sure that my reveal on this trim is the same top and bottom. I have plenty of screws here, so I'll probably mount these screws about every 8 inches up the piece of trim here, just to keep it all in place really well. right, so the next thing here is to mount these spring action barrel bolts to the door. The handy thing about this piece of slam trim is that it actually creates a surface inset from the edge of the floor here that I can then use as a mounting surface for my latch here. So I'm just going to keep this particular latch. Actually has about looks like about an inch and a half of movement there. So if I keep it up off of the bottom of the door here, about 1/4 of an inch, I'll have plenty of locking room here. I want to make sure that the lock is going to be running up and down. All right, and then this one mounts in the same way at the top. All right, so now we just have to drill holes in the header here. I just have to mark exactly where this bolt hits the top of the header, and then I'll use my drill to drill it out. All right, make it a little bigger. It's always good to start snug and then adjust a little bigger if you have to. That way the latch ends up being tight. All right, there you go. That's working pretty good. Let's go ahead and drill the top out. All right, there you have it. Now, the only thing left to do is to adjust our latch, our inside D handle here, to make it close nice and snug on that slam trim. So I'll grab my Allen wrench here and do that. Just a minor adjustment. All right, there you have it. Okay, so this latch comes with a key, so I just want to make sure that's working properly. That's the open position, and then that's locked, so that's great. Looks to be operating nicely. The only other thing left to do is touch up the doors with the paint that's provided and clean them a bit, but then I think we're all set. Thank you for watching this installation video. If you have questions regarding shed door installation, you can comment below or go to our website and fill out the contact us form. If you want to purchase shed door and hardware kits, you can go to our website at shedrepair.net.